God sees your future even when you can't. That truth alone can calm the most anxious heart. We live in a world where so much is uncertain: job security, health, relationships, the very direction of our lives. Every one of us at some point finds ourselves standing at the edge of a decision, looking out into a foggy unknown. We ask questions like, what's coming next? Or am I on the right path? And sometimes, no matter how much we pray or plan or prepare, the future just doesn't seem clear. But the comfort we must cling to is that God is not limited by what we see or don't see. He is not bound by time. While we see the moment, He sees the entire picture. While we wonder about tomorrow, He already exists there. In the book of Jeremiah, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." That means He's been watching over your journey long before you even took your first breath. He's not only aware of your past and present, but He has full knowledge of your future. He knows the details of the days you haven't lived yet, the opportunities you haven't seen yet, the answers you haven't received yet, and He's already working behind the scenes in ways you can't perceive, orchestrating people, timing, and circumstances to align with His perfect will for your life. Sometimes we get frustrated because we can't see what's coming. We pray for direction, and yet there's silence. We want signs, open doors, clarity, but God's ways are higher than our ways. He doesn't always reveal the plan all at once, because if we saw everything ahead of time, we might become overwhelmed or try to change it to fit our own desires. He reveals things step by step, moment by moment, day by day, because He wants us to trust Him, not just the plan. If we knew every twist and turn, we wouldn't need faith. But when the road is unclear and yet we still choose to follow Him, that's where real faith is born. When you feel like you're in a season of uncertainty, it's easy to believe God has forgotten about you. It's tempting to think He's left you to figure things out on your own, but even in silence, He's still guiding. Even in the dark, He's still watching. And while you may feel like nothing is happening, something is always happening. He's aligning divine appointments, putting the right people in your path, and setting things in motion that will all come together in His perfect timing. The uncertainty that surrounds you is not a sign of His absence, but a space where trust is deepened. The truth is, we only see a small portion of reality. We view life through a narrow lens, clouded by emotion, fear, and limited understanding. But God sees the full picture. He knows how this season fits into the next. He knows how today's heartbreak prepares you for tomorrow's blessing. He knows how your waiting will lead to greater strength, how your struggles will shape your testimony. And because He sees what we don't, He often closes doors we wanted open and delays things we thought we needed right away. Not to punish us, but to protect us, not to discourage us, but to develop us. So often we base our confidence on what we can see: our finances, our health, our relationships, our achievements. But real confidence must come from knowing that our life is in the hands of an all-knowing God. A God who is not only good, but wise. A God who doesn't just react to our needs, but has already gone before us. He's not pacing the floor of heaven wondering what to do about your situation. He's not caught off guard. What's unknown to you is already written in His book. Faith is trusting the path even when it's unclear. When the road ahead seems dim and the signs are missing, faith steps forward anyway. It's not the absence of fear, but the presence of trust in a God who never fails. Most of us want a detailed map, a clear timeline, and guarantees before we move. But that's not how God operates. He often calls us to walk by faith, not by sight, believing that each step taken in obedience will lead us closer to His purpose. There are moments in life when logic doesn't have answers, when emotions cloud our decisions, and when everything familiar begins to fade. It's in those moments that faith becomes more than a word. It becomes a lifeline. Trusting the path doesn't mean we'll never doubt or stumble, but it means we lean not on our understanding and instead acknowledge Him in all our ways. When the future is uncertain, faith says, God is still in control. When the journey is long and tiring, faith whispers, keep going. When prayers seem unanswered, faith declares, He is still listening. The path may lead through valleys, over mountains, and into places we never imagined, but every part of it is under divine direction. We may question the process, but faith holds onto the promise. God doesn't always show us the destination. Sometimes He only shows the next step, and in taking that step we grow. Our roots go deeper, our vision becomes clearer, and our hearts become more aligned with His will. Faith teaches us to rely not on the visible, but on the invisible hand of God that leads, protects, and provides. Faith isn't easy, but it is powerful, because it anchors us in the One who knows the way. Even when we don't, God is already preparing what you're praying for. While you're waiting, God is working. While you're lifting up silent prayers through tears or whispered hope in the middle of the night, He is moving in unseen ways. The answers may not have arrived, the breakthrough may still seem far away, but God is not inactive. His timing is never rushed, never delayed. He's the master planner, weaving every detail together with purpose and precision. What feels like silence is often divine strategy. What feels like a delay is often divine development. We tend to think that if we don't see immediate results, then nothing is happening, but faith tells us otherwise. Faith reminds us that God often works behind closed doors where the human eye cannot see. He's softening hearts, rearranging circumstances, opening doors, and even closing the ones that aren't meant for us. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not being prepared. God's preparation often takes place in hidden places, and His greatest works begin in silence. As you pray, God listens. As you trust, He responds. But He doesn't just give us what we ask for. He gives us what's best. Sometimes He takes time to align our desires with His will, to strengthen our character, to build our patience, and to grow our faith. He is not only preparing the answer, He's also preparing us for the answer. Because what good is a blessing if we're not ready to carry it? What good is a breakthrough if we're not equipped to walk in it? God's preparation is personal, intentional, and perfect in timing. You may feel like you're stuck in a season of waiting, but heaven is in motion. Your prayers have not been forgotten. The answer is not lost. The preparation is already underway. You don't need all the answers. Just trust the One who does. Life will often present questions that don't have easy explanations. There are moments when we're faced with decisions, uncertainties, and challenges that leave us feeling overwhelmed and confused. Our natural instinct is to search for clarity, to gather every piece of information, and to secure guarantees before we move forward. But faith doesn't operate that way. Faith says, even if I don't understand, I will still trust. Even when the answers don't come, I will still believe that God knows exactly what He's doing. Trying to figure everything out can become a burden. It drains peace, steals joy, and creates anxiety. We were never meant to carry the weight of knowing everything. That's God's role, not ours. Trusting Him means letting go of the need to control every outcome and choosing instead to rest in His wisdom. He sees what we can't see, knows what we don't know, and is already in the places we're trying to reach. He understands how today connects with tomorrow, and how every delay, every disappointment, and every detour plays a role in the bigger picture. When we let go of the pressure to have all the answers, we begin to experience the peace that comes from relying on God's understanding instead of our own. His ways are higher, His thoughts are deeper, and His plan is always better than anything we could come up with on our own. Trust isn't built in moments of certainty. It's built when we're walking in the unknown and still choosing to lean on Him. Even when prayers seem unanswered or circumstances don't make sense, He is working. Trusting God means stepping forward even when we don't have the full map, because we know the one who guides us. Your future is not in chaos, it's in God's perfect hands. What feels uncertain, unstable, or unpredictable from your point of view is already secured in the hands of a sovereign God. There are moments when life feels like it's unraveling, when plans fall apart, when expectations are crushed, and fear creeps in about what lies ahead. It's easy to believe that the future is slipping through your fingers, but that's when you must remember who is truly in control. God is not surprised by what you're going through. He is not confused by your situation. He holds time itself, and every season of your life is under His divine authority. When you surrender your future to Him, you're placing it into the hands of the one who created you with purpose. He knows every detail of your journey, every decision you will make, and every storm you will face. Nothing is hidden from Him, and nothing catches Him off guard. The chaos you feel is not a reflection of what's actually happening in the spiritual realm. God is always working with order, even in what seems messy to you. He takes what's broken and brings beauty. He takes what's confusing and reveals purpose. We often try to predict, plan, and protect ourselves from the unknown, but true peace comes when we recognize that God has already gone before us. He's not pacing the floors of heaven trying to figure out your story. He wrote it. He's not reacting to events. He's orchestrating them. The same hands that formed the universe are holding your tomorrow with care, with strength, and with love. When you truly believe your future is in His hands, fear begins to lose its grip. Anxiety loses its power. Doubt loses its voice.